Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is definitely one of the most popular games in the world, if not the most popular. But Fortnite is it's coming close. It's nipping at its heels right now, right? That whole Ninja Drake thing really kind of elevated it, and quite frankly, the base building elements brought into Fortnite's battle right now is actually pretty damn dope. But I still love me some PUBG. Still play it on my Xbox One. That's right, hardcore. I also have it on my PC. But PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, when it comes to being the top dog on the king of the hill, they are going to make sure that no one else even comes close to ripping off their IP, even if they get a little bit salty at Fortnite for, in some aspects, really ripping off some elements. But here's something interesting. PUBG files copyright lawsuit to shut down competition. Yeah, I would argue they have a pretty good argument here. So it says here, when PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds was first released a little over a year ago, it became an instant hit. Within a month, 1 million copies of the first public beta version were sold, and this has since grown to over 28 million copies on the PC alone. A lot of people played this game. A lot of people really love it. The success earned the company hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, but according to PUBG, it could have been much more if others hadn't copied their work. Now, listen. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Obviously, we've seen Fortnite, go from just being this, base building zombie survival game to putting in a 100-player battle royale mode that, yes, is very similar to PUBG, but in essence is different because of also how the game looks and how it plays and everything else. And PUBG is not happy that Fortnite has been doing as well as it has. But they're not going after Fortnite here. So it says this week, PUBG filed a lawsuit against NetEase, the company behind the mobile games Rules of Survival and Knives Out, accusing it of copyright infringement, unfair competition, and trade dress infringement. Now, these are mobile games, right? And PUBG just went mobile, and I don't know why it went mobile. I would not want to play it mobile, but that's where we are now. Now, in a complaint filed in the federal court of California, PUBG alleges that the two mobile apps were released before PUBG's own mobile application to gain market share. In doing so, the company copied several crucial elements without permission, PUBG adds. And I'm wondering here if because these games have found maybe popularity or they've found some kind of home or an audience, that PUBG is just upset that someone beat them to the punch. If I recall correctly, and I could be wrong here, like Fortnite was announced as being mobile, and then PUBG was all of a sudden releasing their app, right? Like it's one of those things where they were close together, but I always thought Fortnite was announced first, and then all of a sudden PUBG was coming out with it as well. I really feel like in some aspects PUBG is going after these smaller companies because it can't get at Fortnite, and it just really wants to keep itself at the top of the pile. The 155-page complaint lists a long summary of elements that PUBG believes are infringing on its copyrighted works. This includes buildings, landscapes, vehicles, weapons, clothing, the pre-play area, and the shrinking gameplay area. But oh my god, H1Z1 came out beforehand, and that had shrinking area. Like, Fortnite has a shrinking area. Like, oh my god, that's, to me, that's not even an argument. They probably have better ideas about it than I do, but just from a layman's, a commentator perspective, that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It says, on information and belief, defendants copied PUBG's expressive depictions of the pre-play area, where other depictions could have been used for the purpose of evoking the same gameplay experience depicted in Battlegrounds. The game also features PUBG's iconic Winner Winner Chicken Dinner salute, which is displayed to the winner of the game. In addition, both games use references to the phrase in their advertising efforts. Now, that would actually make some sense to me. And I don't know if they copyrighted Winner Winner Chicken Dinner, but at this point it's so associated with PUBG, it's just, I can see that, So it says here, Chicken Dinner. The defendants have also advertised, marketed, and promoted KO's be Knives Out on Facebook using imagery and expressions reminiscent of those created for Battlegrounds. For example, the KO Facebook page expressly advertises and promotes chicken dinner, pot lids as weapons, and certain vehicles on which information and belief appear in Battlegrounds but do not appear in KO. Well, if I recall, a pot lid is, I don't know if they've added that in as a new weapon, but it is a frying pan. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't played on the PC in a bit, so I don't know if they've updated stuff. These and other similarities are used to confuse the public into believing that the NetEase games are developed by PUBG, the company notes, repeating the same arguments for Rules of Survival and Knives Out. Defendants intended to create consumer confusion as to the source of ROS and intended to cause consumers to believe incorrectly that ROS had been developed by PUBG. The company highlights to this point by noting that both games are regularly referred to as PUBG Mobile in the marketplace, suggesting that there indeed is confusion. Mobile, oh yeah, if it says here mobile PUBG, Knives Out the PUBG mobile experience, PUBG Mobile, yeah, yeah. I mean, like, the thing is, I have to ask the question, is, obviously they're trying to capitalize on the PUBG name, right? They're trying to capitalize on that one. Now I'm pretty sure PUBG has, I don't know if they have trademarked or copyrighted PUBG because it's an acronym. So I don't know if they own that or not, right? Player Unknown Battlegrounds, that's definitely copyrighted, but PUBG is an acronym. So I don't know if they can in fact own that. They might be overstepping their copyright here. And again, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just, a commentator. So whatever. But looking at these here, these are videos they're quoting here, or they're screenshotting. Obviously, mobile PUBG, Knives Out. That is very suspicious. Knives Out, the PUBG mobile experience, again, very, very suspicious, but it's also trying to play into the YouTube algorithm. They're putting it in the title so then you see it as you're scrolling through, and I guarantee you the tags and descriptions have it listed there as well as a way to gain a fair amount of notoriety. And it says, in January, PUBG reached out to Apple asking the company to take action against the allegedly infringing applications. But NetEase denied the allegations. As a result, the company saw no other option than to file this lawsuit. In addition to monetary damages, PUBG wants both mobile games taken offline permanently to shield the company from further harm. But that's if they violated it. I mean, if they're going after them for elements in the game that are similar, that, a judge could argue or could rule in their favor. But if they're going at it for YouTube video titles, then that's a harder one. I don't know. I don't know. I do feel like PUBG is probably in the right here. I do feel like they're probably in the right. I do feel like the shrinking gameplay area thing though is kind of like that's like a non-argument because it's used by so many other people, but predominantly I think they're in the right. Especially if they are ripping off elements. We've seen this in other games, some really crappy games that go to Steam. They get in to the Greenlight program and they would use assets from other games or stuff that they didn't pay for, And so, yeah, like we've seen this kind of crap before. But obviously PUBG being as popular and profitable as it is, people are going to try to imitate it, Fortnite, and then also in some cases do better, Fortnite. So there's that. PUBG has suffered irreparable harm as a result of defendants' infringing activities and will continue to suffer irreparable harm in the future unless defendants are enjoined from their infringing conduct. Yeah, that I don't buy. I'm sorry. I know that's legal talk and they're trying to cover their own ass there, but I don't know. I don't think anyone would look at those and look at PUBG and go, yeah, PUBG's taking it up the ass on this one. No one would do that. Specifically, PUBG asked the courts to order NetEase to remove each and every version of the game's Rules of Survival, Knives Out, and similarly infringing games from distribution and to cease developing and supporting those games. I guess you could say good luck on that one. While it appears that obvious Rules of Survival and Knives Out are inspired by PUBG, it's up to the court to determine whether copyright infringement and unfair competition claims hold. Which is true. It is up to a court to decide. It really is. I understand where PUBG is coming from. I do. But a lot of people have not been happy with how PUBG has been running as a company since, they became their own company and separated from Bluehole. There's been a lot of complaints about how the game itself has been or how the company's been doing things. And I don't quite know if this is going to have the same kind of maybe support that they're looking for, or the same kind of, they're going to get a lot of help from the community. I feel like they probably have a case in a few areas here, but again, if NetEase can argue that it's inspired by, then that would fall under fair use, and that would fall under their own property, and they may not have as strong of an argument as PUBG is hoping that they have. But if what PUBG is saying is true, and again, don't know, I don't really play mobile games, then they have a case and they can get this stuff shut down. But if they're going to go out there and they're going to say stuff like the shrinking gameplay area is a reason why we're losing money, no one who looks at the current trend of these games in the battle royale mode is going to sit there and go, yeah, okay, yeah, we believe you. No, they won't. They just won't. But I do want to hear your guys' thoughts on this one. Do you think that PUBG is in the right? Do you think they're in the wrong? Do you think they're going to win? I am curious to know your thoughts on this one. Let me know in the comments below. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day. Oh yeah, thumbs up the video, subscribe, all that jazz, and have a good one. Peace out. What you just saw was a shorter clip from a longer show. The Rustled Podcast airs every Sunday through Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard on rustled.net. Please consider subscribing to the channel as well as 3 Buck Theater and potentially becoming one of our sponsors at patreon.com/mundanemat. Thank you and have a great day.